Welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines with Terry and Mike. Hope everyone had a good Christmas. Can you hear?
Exactly.
I can't hear you, Mike. There you go. I got you. Got you.
Merry
Got you.
Christmas, everyone.
Yes, and Happy New Year to come. So anyway, that video obviously wasn't the Christmas Eve bombing it in Nigeria of ISIS, and the only reason it's not is because there's no video released on it. But we do have, with our very special guest, we have Mike Arnold, and he was with us maybe I don't know, within the last month, right? And there's Mike. So Mike, for those of you for the first time, Mike is a Texas-based entrepreneur, ordained minister, former mayor of Blanco, Texas, and a passionate advocate of persecuted Christians worldwide. Mike is deeply committed to Nigeria, where he made over 15 trips since 2010. He founded Africa Arise International, an organization that builds and operates schools internally displaced people in camps, providing education, humanitarian relief, and a hope to hundreds of children affected by violence. Many of the regions hard hit by the attacks during the Christmas season and beyond. Today, we're thrilled to have. I'm reading my AI thing. We're thrilled to have Mike here. Oh no, it's so another thing. I just want to mention about Mike, and we did bring this up last time, is that Mike was able to bring international attention to what's going on in Nigeria with the Christians, right, and all the craziness there. So much so that there was 4 billion views based on some of the stuff that he brought forth, which I think Mike thinks, led to the attention of Mr. Donald Trump, who, when Trump stuff is brought to Donald Trump's attention, regardless if it's this or other things, and if it's very, very important, he acts on it, which is pretty cool. And so I think Mike had something to do. I really do believe that he had something to do with getting the global attention, the national attention that led to bombing those bastards on Christmas Eve. And it's pretty cool, bombing a bunch of Muslims on Christmas Eve, isn't it? I shouldn't say that. People are going to say, "Oh, it's me."
Smoking a bunch of terrorists.
Yeah, the Nigerians I know say it was the best Christmas present they ever had. I heard that Trump actually intentionally delayed it to make sure it happened on Christmas Day as a Christmas present. And the Nigerians I know, and I know a lot of Nigerians, are ecstatic. They're just so grateful. Of course, the radical Muslims, the other ones, are the exact opposite, but they're joyous in the streets that Trump has taken action. And the way he did it, the timing and the symbolism of the location, the messaging, all of it was a masterstroke.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was wondering, I'm kind of wondering, Mike, if we can, if Trump could help us out with bombing Somalians in Minnesota. That's a joke. A joke. We didn't want that to happen. They just, defrauded us billions of dollars. It's not worthy of bombing them, right?
Yeah, we got to get our $19 billion back, or as much of it we can, before we start deporting them.
Send them back first, and then we can start bombing.
So before we jump into the conversation, right? We have another video, and this video is going to show you some of the aftermath of the bombing, correct, Mike and Mike?
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Because there's always the narrative war, and crazy, right after the bombing, there was a Nigerian news station that went out there and filmed an empty field, and they'd started the narrative that Trump just bombed an empty field and there was no damage. And I knew that wasn't true. But these other videos have started to come out. These are eyewitnesses. I sent you the tamest one. There's one
you said
you wouldn't want to watch. But
it was
we sure nailed those suckers.
Yeah, Mike, when we looked at that clip, Mike and I together, it was weird is that, they dropped all those bombs and none of the bodies were discolored. Joke.
Those were
that's a bad joke. Dirty joke. No wonder I got 2 cancers. Bad joke. Bad joke. Bad joke.
Yeah, they're like Kentucky Fried Chicken, skinless, crispy.
That's awful.
Yeah, extra crispy for sure.
So
listen, these guys are scumbags. They behead, they killed women, children, they cut people's heads off. They got exactly what they deserved, right? And they should have gotten it a long time ago. And they're building a stronghold. And Mike mentioned that on our show last time. The ISIS is building a stronghold. They're inviting them, sat back, and it's awful about the Christian children, women. It's awful for the world what they were doing, not just sitting by and watching what's happening to Christians.
But slaughtering people with machetes. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So can we show this nice crispy chicken one?
Yeah, you got it.
That's the family pack. That's the Christmas.
Yeah.
I've heard between 750,000 terrorists were got without one civilian,
Wow.
civilian casualty, without any collateral damage. That it was just pinpoint.
Yeah,
And
I've
we
got a
got
contact told me
whole hive of-
1,100. So
Wow.
I imagine that's probably right about correct.
Well,
I
yeah,
can't
some of the
wait to go
videos
get
I've seen, it's probably going to take them a while to piece them together, count them. But
Yeah, they're halfway to cremation already.
He sure hit the hornet's nest right smack dab center. And a couple of interesting things about this, geographically and target wise. There's some missionaries out there that do similar work that I do that are frustrated with Trump because where he hit is not where all the Christians are being killed. That's behind enemy lines up there where he hit.
behind enemy lines. It's right here behind me.
That's it. And it's this ISIS group is not the one that has been on the front line with the axes and machetes and the AKs killing the Christians. This is more leadership back here. I'm sure they know where their camps are of these Fulani militia that are doing a lot of this. And they know where Boko Haram is, and I'm sure they're going to hit them. But this was, remember last time I came, I talked about the Sultan of Sokoto, this caliphate.
Yes.
This was in Sokoto State. This was in the backyard of the Sultan where he hit. Out of all the places to pick that location is extremely symbolic.
Wow.
And it's a major, it's right in their boiler room. And the Sultan hasn't said a word about it since it happened.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about
It's
sending a
crazy. So
message.
Exactly. And a global message because he hit the internationalists, he hit the ISIS, he hit they're not all ISIS. He uses that as a catch-all. There's other groups that were mixed in here.
Scumbags.
But this is the globalists. This is the ones that want the global jihad that he's hitting first.
Yeah.
And that sends a big message.
I just posted on Facebook for the people because we just got back on Facebook, Mike A, and so but people, a lot of people watch locally and stuff. So if there's any questions for Mike, I just put that on Facebook. Just type it in there. I'm going to be watching them. Okay. And then I forgot to mention one of the reasons we showed the boats and the bombing of Venezuela is number one, we don't have any bombing of Nigeria. Number two, Mike and I are going to have the DEA drug czar on our show in 2 weeks. So it ties in. We're going to talk specifically about Venezuela. And who would have thought Terry Newsom was going to have? I mean, how does life change? Its ups and downs and its spiritual craziness, Mike. Mike A. Mike knows both Mikes.
Yeah.
Those guys were on my ass back in the 80s and I changed my life. So it's like, I would never have looked back in that last century and said, you're going to be interviewing the DEA board, DEA's drug czar someday. It's like, crazy.
Friends with somebody at friends with people at the DEA or at DHS or anybody else. It's quite a turnaround.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were usually the ones asking you the questions, and interrogation.
Yeah, at least I got free this time.
But yeah, I mean, what's going on in South America? I mean, I think these are all good steps in the right direction, especially what's going on in Nigeria and sending this message after years of tens of thousands of Christians being slaughtered, hacked to death in their villages, and the world did nothing. And this is the right message. This is a step in the right direction. I think they're probably going to need a few more messages from heaven before they before it's fully received. But we certainly have the capability to do that.
Yeah. So, there's going to be other targets. In fact, Representative Riley Moore came out and said there's going to be more targets, and they're shaking in their boots. It's funny. I've already got a fatwa against me. I'm sure. I've already got the threats. I've had the Sultan of Sokoto name check me. There's another guy, Sheikh Gumi, Gumi. His father was this radical. They called him the Ayatollah of Nigeria. His father, and this Sheikh Gumi now is this older, radical Muslim imam. He was the counselor to the underwear bomber, if you
Huh.
remember that guy.
I do.
And Saudi Arabia put him in jail, and the Nigerian government got him out and set him free.
Really?
And in fact,
Oh,
just
yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
earlier this year, he tried to go on Hajj or whatever they do to pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia. He landed there, and they turned him around and instantly deported him back. They wouldn't let him in the country because
Wow.
he's too radical.
Wow.
Good.
The
That's great.
Sheikh Gumi.
Hey,
But
you know
he
what?
runs around free in Nigeria, and his thing is he loves to go and negotiate with and talk with and the terrorists. He's
Yeah.
the terrorist guy,
Yeah.
and everybody knows it. He's on everybody's hit list. He's everybody knows that he's this imam to the terrorists. Well, and he started name checking me online. He's been playing videos of mine
You're a
and
terrorist
commenting
guy?
on it. I mean, mark me for death.
That guy,
So I've just been poking this
underwear
dude.
guy? The underwear bomb guy? Bomb?
Yeah, no, his imam. Yeah, the radical
Yeah, the guy that
imam.
trained him.
Yeah,
Dude.
and so after the bombing, and I tag him on stuff, and I know he gets it. I got the old Police song, "Every Breath You Take," uh, and I posted that for him, and I said, "Hey, Sheikh Gumi, this is for you from the U.S. military."
Yeah. Hey, I just want to do a shout out to Sandra. She said, as much as I respect the truth, this was truly shocking. I believe this is what people need to see, hear, not the lies of the broadcast news. Yes, we agree with that. And, oh, hey, Shane, before we jump into this, we're three of us are just assuming everyone knows who you are and a little bit about. Can you do, because the last show we talked in depth about what you've done? Can you do an elevator pitch of you know what's going on there? I know it's complicated, but for those
Sure,
people, we can't assume everyone knows who you are and what you've done over there. So do it as
sure.
much as you can, an elevator pitch to share with the audience who you are and what's going on over there outside of being bombed on Christmas Eve. People don't know. A lot of people don't know. So thank God for the work
Absolutely.
you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah. So I started going to Nigeria in 2010 as a missionary, and I've always gone as a missionary, and have been there now 16 times. I've gotten very well connected, deeply connected in the country, across the country. I've been all over the place. From the highest offices, I've gotten to know, prayed with the Catholic cardinal there. This guy's personal friends with the Pope, papal elector. Prayed with him in his private chapel a couple times. I've been in the living room of one of the most prominent, respected former presidents, Goodluck Jonathan. I've served on the board of directors with the founding president of modern Nigeria, General Yakubu Gowon. So I mean, God's opened so many doors, and a lot of the people we see on TV coming and lobbying our government, I know them, I've met them. Um, but in 2019, on a speaking tour, absolute random God-led detour, unexpected, ended up in the middle of the capital city in this camp for displaced people. They call them IDPs, internally displaced people. And these are, I heard their stories. These were all Christians from northern Nigeria. 5 years prior, they had experienced just the most horrific nightmare you can imagine when Boko Haram came through their community. And the, I've heard so many stories from people who were adults then and people who were children then, and their own perspective and view of it. But
Yeah.
they're stringing men up and gutting them like goats. They burn all the churches, all the schools. They're beheading people for recruitment videos. Met a grandmother that has a scar on her arm, a bullet wound. Her son was a Bible translator. They dumped his body off. She went out to look for his head, and they captured her. And they were going to kill her, but she was able to escape, and they shot her grandmother. I mean, it just horrible. But they escaped and made it to this camp. This is where the government told them to stay, and then totally neglected them. No food, no water, no sanitation, sewage ditches. They had to build their own shanties. Um, Thousands of people, and they were peaceful, productive people, educated people, many of them professionals. I mean, but just everything taken away. and it's not a place where you go down to the homeless shelter. Man, they're there. That's it.
Yeah.
Live or die.
Mhm.
And God grabbed my heart with that, and I've been back 6 times since then. It's been very dangerous. Level 4, do not travel. Sometimes that's combat zone warning. Had to make up cover stories. We've had to do undercover stuff. Other documentary crews were. Yes, we were doing filming a documentary. The other documentary crews were arrested and tortured.
Really? Holy fuck!
Yeah,
All right, holy
yeah.
crap!
In
Sorry,
fact, they
I
released
swore at
one.
a minister on here. I'm sorry.
No, it's crazy. But God's opened so many doors. We build schools now, and some of these camps, the government denies they exist, the UN denies they
Mhm.
exist. But we are right now have 600 full time students, and we just finished. Laura Loomer paid for a campus. We just are
Oh,
finishing
that's
building a
cool.
new campus
That's great.
that'll hold 500 more students.
That's
So
great.
it was awesome. She's an amazing person.
So again, I know this is deep, and because the whole show, you did a great job explaining what's going on there. Elevator pitch between the Muslims, the Brits. I know I'm not asking a lot of you, but
Sure.
like
Yeah.
let people understand the lay of the land there and why it is the way it is right now. For those people that don't know, I mean, I didn't know
Oh,
until you were on the show. I didn't know.
absolutely. Yeah. So first, why Nigeria is important? A lot of reasons. It's an epicenter of so many things, and that's the biggest strategy of Trump of them all. Is this is a huge location. I mean, you got the Chinese extended there, you got the British,
Yeah.
you got the radical Muslims, you got Obama. All of them are overexposed in Nigeria, and it's going to be fun to watch it all unravel. It's going to burn. A
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
things are going to burn down. I think, and I think it's a masterstroke. But Nigeria is the sixth largest nation on earth. People
You hear
have no
that?
idea.
You
I
guys
did
hear
not
that?
know that. Yeah.
Nation.
It
You
it
said that
it
last
holds almost a quarter of the population of the continent of Africa.
Wow.
About 230 million people, about half Christian, half Muslim. It is one of the top 5 nations of OPEC. So it's one of the top 5 oil producing and exporting nations on earth. And they have about $1 trillion in the minerals of the future. The lithium, the tin. Tin is not about tinfoil anymore. It's actually worth more
Yeah.
than lithium ore.
Wow.
It's high tech, and rare earth elements, of course, gold, diamonds, some other things. But it's a major about $1 trillion in reserves, and they have youth. Their average age of these 230 million people is 19.
Wow.
Wow.
And when you look at China, look at Russia, look at Europe, look at the United States, the whole baby boom thing, where
Yeah.
we have more people retiring than can support them,
Yeah.
it's the
Right.
exact opposite there. And so they have energy. Nigerians living in the United States are the wealthiest and most educated group. They're extremely bright, extremely capable, amazing people. I mean, brilliant, faithful, passionate, generous people when left to their own devices.
Are they making more than
And
the
so
Somalians over here?
I wish I've asked Nigerians to send
I'm
missionaries
sorry.
to us so many times. They're amazing people, truly.
Yeah.
And so it's this very important location. The population, the youth, the location, the resources. They have a very strong influence now in pop culture and music and film.
Uh,
Third largest film industry on earth. So it's an epicenter of
oh,
so much, and
and also the guy that just beat the shit out of Jake Paul, who I hate.
that's right, that's right. And he got in a car wreck there day before
Yeah.
yesterday in Nigeria,
Yeah.
and 2 people were killed. Yeah. But so it's very important and strategically important. Whoever controls Nigeria is going to have a big hand in controlling the future, not just of Africa, but of the world.
Mike, another thing I
And so
need you
this
to
is a
talk
fight.
about. I'm remembering everything. So talk about the the minerals and stuff, and how on the
Yeah,
northern part they're getting access for the to fund ISIS and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I'm getting there.
Oh,
Well,
sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
let me tell about the British this real quick, because this is important.
Yeah.
It was never a British colony. British people never went there to establish a civilization, a culture, and bring the goodness of Great Britain, which is the BS line they used other places. It
Yeah.
was set up as to extract. It was 2 separate corporations, extraction corporations, North and South, and it was that way because the North was hardcore Sharia law, caliphate. It was the Sokoto Caliphate. It was jihad founded, not long before the British got there. In the same century. and harsh Sharia law. I mean, it was the epicenter of the global slave trade, uh, still is, and that's northern Nigeria. It's controlled by this emirs who are led by the sultan, and it's iron fisted. And even to this day. I mean, the blasphemy killings. There was a girl on campus that on a WhatsApp group. This was just not long ago. On a WhatsApp group, said, "Thank you, Jesus," after passing an exam. Her fellow students beat her and burned her to death.
Wow.
And 50 prominent imams came to defend those students, and they got off scot-free.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's northern Nigeria. Yeah. So, but the South was where the resources are and was Christian. They're very vibrant, very entrepreneurial, brilliant. They embraced the British language, English language, the faith, and they're the ones that went to school in England, and they put them to work. They ran the machinery of the British efforts there, all over the country, all over the region. Well, in 1900s, a lazy administrator did what's called the amalgamation. He said, well, instead of two separate corporations, let's do a merger for administrative efficiency. His wife said, hey, let's call it Nigeria. She just picked the name out of thin air. And that's how the nation was created. Now, the British, for extraction, they do something called indirect rule. They find the strong man and the person in control, the dictator, and they just say, okay, you work for us now, but you keep doing what you're doing. And they did that with the caliphate. They said, we're in charge now, but you just keep doing what you're doing. And we'll just tell you, when we need something, we'll tell you. You just keep control. And so when they gave it independence in 1960, while all the resources were in the South, they nationalized it. It belongs to the nation, and the nation's controlled by the North. It's baked into their constitution. And so you got the radical North controlling the nation and controlling the resources. And it went that way. 1967, the South, at that time, the fastest growing economic region on earth for 10 years running, very vibrant place. They finally, the North was coming in and killing them, and they said, okay, we've had enough. They tried to split off, the Biafran War. We didn't hear about it because it was during Vietnam. But the British went back and said, okay, it's not working here, folks. We can either back the South, which is our friends that speak our language, that have our faith, or we can back the brutal Sharia law caliphate North. They backed the North to the extent that they put a blockade around the South. And as many as minimum, the British say 1 million, but the Nigerians say 3 million children were starved to death between 1967 and 1970 by the British. They were shooting down aid planes.
Jesus.
So that the North could maintain control of Nigeria. And they won. They took away all the money from the people in the South, gave them each 20 pounds, and they started over in 1970. And fast forward, and here we are today. That's Nigeria.
So when you go over there, especially now, like if you have plans to go over there, I don't know if they're top secret or what are you going to do about your safety and security with everything that happened now, right? Are you able to even go back there now?
It's crazy. I am the most famous American in Nigeria. Just this month, and I've never had a social media following. I never really tried to build anything like that. But until just October, when this press conference happened, just this month, since December 1st, I already have almost 60,000 new Facebook followers.
Oh my God. Oh,
yeah, and they're all.
If you guys are watching, like, watch us. I'm kidding. I
didn't
know you're on Facebook. I would have tagged you. Shit, I tagged you on X. I
woke up with 108,000 followers today, and I'll probably have 110,000 by the end of the day tomorrow. Wow. And they're almost all in Nigeria, and they're all, so many. Professor this, doctor this, judge this, great. Chief this, congressman. And it's like the old Drudge Report used to be back in the day. I just thought of that. That's cool. I'm like the Matt Drudge factor. But when I post something, it becomes a headline.
Matter of fact, you know what? Like I forgot to tell you after our interview with you last time, on X. I got a bunch of Nigerians following me on X. Swear to God.
Yeah. I got in a cab in Washington. I was up there for the rally on December 1st, and I got in a cab, and the cab driver looks in the rearview mirror and says, "It's the Earth Shaker." It was a Nigerian guy.
Oh, Mike, tell the people about that bullshit press conference they tried to set you up with. Tell
Yeah,
them about that.
but let me add, first,
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
am going to go
sorry.
back.
My ADD is like exposed tonight. My ADD. I got ADD.
That's
Old
okay.
man
I'm
ADD.
vibing. It's
Sorry.
it's good. I get it. We didn't talk about the Chinese mineral thing, but we can do that too. But yeah, I'll go back, but never be the same. I was the guy that would just walk down the street and go buy some suya from the street vendor. I mean,
Sure.
street food and stuff. I'm that guy. It'll never be the same. I'll have to have convoys and armed security, and
Oh my
it's
god.
going to be a very,
Yeah.
very different thing.
Honestly, I hope you don't go back for your own safety and security.
Oh, I have to
Yeah.
go back.
I know. I knew you were going to say that, but I just
Yeah.
it's like it's going to be so crazy. Oh my god.
I do have one question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Why exactly would the British side with the Caliphate North? I mean, it seems 180 degrees out of phase with what would have been in their interest, or was it just they thought that was a better way to control and suppress the Nigerians in the South that controlled the resources?
Well, think of it this way: if you didn't have a soul and you were just wholly predatory, you'd probably do the same thing.
That's what I was thinking,
That's
but
yeah, and the fact is, I don't want to import finished products because that leaves profit margin in country. I want to import raw materials at the lowest possible price.
Mhm.
The caliphate in the north, they don't really give a crap so long as they got their goats to go screw and their women
yeah,
to beat. And no, no, I'm not trying to be too.
You're a
I don't,
crazy
I don't think I'm
minister.
being
that's
Yeah, yeah.
sarcastic.
historically
I'm being
accurate.
yeah. No, seriously, they go into these towns, they wipe them out. They don't rebuild them. They don't reoccupy them. They just destroy.
Yeah,
And they control. I think of it as, say there's a rich woman, okay, young lady, and your buddy is an abusive man, and you get them married, and now you can take all her money because he just gets his beer and he's fine,
Yeah.
and you can keep pickpocketing, and that's what they're doing. And so whenever the woman wants to get off and get freedom, the guy just beats her again
Sounds like Joe
and talks
Severino's
about
wife.
preserving the marriage, and it's about unity, honey. It's about the relationship, and it ain't about that. There's no Nigerian patriot.
Wow.
There's people that want to dominate, and there's people that want to leave.
S
yeah.
So another question, unless you have so with the ISIS stuff, right? Was because I know we know they're crazy radical Muslims there, right? But I mean, did ISIS come from the outside within there? And then is there like
Yeah,
is that kind of where they made their little epicenter where they felt safe, right? I mean, do you know anything about that? Can you explain that?
yeah,
If you
yeah,
do?
absolutely. So a little bit of history. The Sultan of Sokoto, the Caliphate was established in 1804 by a dude named Usman Dan Fodio, and he did the jihad, established one of the largest pre-colonial empires in Africa, killed 250,000 people, enslaved millions. And that was the Sokoto Caliphate. Well, the 19th generation heir of Usman Dan Fodio sits on the throne now. Saad
19th
Abu
there.
Kabar, something.
Yeah.
Um, he's the Sultan of Sokoto. Well, before he took the throne in 2006, he was a brigadier general in the Nigerian army, stationed in Pakistan, accredited to Afghanistan and Iran
Wow.
during the war on terror. So he was at the heart of it,
Yeah.
and he was an intel general in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iran. When we were capturing Taliban and Al Qaeda units that had Nigerian fighters embedded with them,
I
and
didn't know
he's the
that.
general.
I never knew that. Did you know that, Mike? Mike
Yeah.
Klauber? I didn't know
Yes.
that.
And so when he comes back to Nigeria in 2006 to take his throne, all of a sudden the homegrown jihad takes on international tactics. They start
Mm.
doing the IEDs, the suicide bombs, the sophisticated kidnappings, and such.
Wow.
They start doing the videos. They start to compete with ISIS. In fact, a lot of the videos you saw with ISIS killing 100 people, well, they were doing a dick measuring contest with Boko Haram, and they would try to one up each other. They were frenemies.
Wow.
But when Trump bombed them out of the Middle East, they just relocated over there with their frenemies and set up under right in the Sultan's backyard. Now he
Holy
can
cow.
claim that he doesn't know anything about it,
A
but
big,
they were
what's
operating
crazy
with
is a
impunity right in his backyard,
big
literally.
dick contest in Africa. Wow, that's crazy.
You got to stand back for that one. That's when you want the cheap seats.
Thank God they weren't in Israel. Israel would have lost. Oh, that's another bad joke. Another bad joke. Sorry.
No, so that's how ISIS got there. Also, as this Boko Haram was unleashed as a strategy by Obama during the late part of the Arab Spring
Yes.
to get a Muslim president elected. But they imported a lot of the North Africans after they went through Libya and Egypt and all that. They came down and were imported into Nigeria. And a lot of these eyewitnesses of the early attacks, it was the first round that came through was these North Africans. It was the foreign jihadis that led the way. And so, yeah, they've been invited in, and they've set up shop there to build this caliphate to take over the world.
Are they? Do they have? And is that maybe what they bombed? Because I'm not. Are they doing training camps there just like we saw in Afghanistan?
Yeah, my understanding, this was some kind of leadership conclave. They were. This was. I don't know. We don't know all the targets yet. There were multiple locations. But yeah, they do that kind of stuff there. But there were apparently several top leaders there. They were doing some kind of. They probably got together to do Secret Santa or something. Who knows?
Secret Satan. Yeah, well, this sounds like a problem. Time to dust off a few daisy cutters. Sounds like a simple problem to fix.
It's so thoughtful.
Yeah, just what I wanted.
Yes, and 3 brides and a goat.
Yeah. Oh,
gift exchange. What's that gift exchange looking like before those tomahawks hit? Who spiked the eggnog?
Hey, let's take a quick little. I want to talk about Mickey's January 6th event, and then my friends from hold on here. My friends, I got my friends from Mass Resistance I want to talk about as well. So you want to sorry, let me pull this other thing up here. I'm like, okay. So on January 6th, my buddy Mickey Scornavaco, another Nigerian like me, that's a joke, another Italian guy, Mickey Scornavaco is going to have a January 6th event up in Antioch. I can't even read that. Holy shit, it's so blurry. Are you guys stuff blurry? Can you read that, Mike Lauber?
I can see it, but on my screen it's really tiny because I've got multiple windows.
I can't read it.
I can read that.
Oh my god, it's so let me pull it up here. Okay, January 6th. Antioch at Dockers North, Antioch, Illinois, 6 to 9 p.m. Restore law and order, support our police, secure our communities, and take back Illinois. This is a January 6th event, and you're going to have moi, Mr. J6er, that was on the terrorist watch list. I'll be representing the J6ers. Mike Arnold, I didn't go in. I didn't fight. I didn't go in, but I was like, Biden administration came after me. Either because I was a very vocal school board parent that launched me into like the national, they came after me, and Antifa, all these crazy stories. The Southern Poverty Law Center came after me, and so yes, I was a J6er. I didn't go in. I didn't get arrested, thank God. The FBI came to my house. I had all the, I lost my TSA pre-check. My family were quad-assed. All that's I was there. I left before people went in, so I'll be representing J6ers. I might try to get some local Chicago guys there. Mickey has good events. We're going to have Sheriff Medrick. He's running for governor. Did I think Ted Dabrowski is going to be there?
Yeah, and I know.
Right?
Yeah, and Michael Pierce. He's going to be there. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Pierce. I think. Yeah, Ted
good.
Dabrowski.
Good.
Is Severino sending somebody from his delegation?
No, because he knows I'll knock his teeth out. I'm joking. That was a joke. I'm not threatening a governor candidate. I was joking.
The presumptive nominee.
Yes, and so I want to mention.
DEA is watching. You better be careful.
Well, they're on my side now. I want to mention Mass Resistance. My friend Karen and so Mass Resistance. When I first got into this battle for our children about the porn, the sexualization, the drag queens, and I met them very early on. And I became the president of Parents Involvement Education. And I was talking to Karen at the time, and I already, like jumped on, the parents and here in the Parents Involvement Education chapter. I haven't done much. I've been so busy, and I was trying to get parents to join us, right? But Mass Resistance is a national organization. They've been around for a long time, aggressively going after and teaching communities like ours. And they helped many people in the Downers Grove, DuPage area. My friend Tara, they helped her teach us how to fight against these radical leftists that are sexualizing our children. So Mass Resistance is having a match for their donations, and in this battle, every dollar is crucial. Right now, your donation will be
Oh, Terry might have just froze.
doubled.
There we go.
Oh no. Okay, Mass Resistance. Um, so in this battle, every dollar is crucial. And right now, your donation is doubled by one of your generous supporters. Invest in this work; it's really appreciated. They are doing great work and great training. I don't see the website. Mass Resistance. Look them up here. In the Southern Poverty and Law Center hit piece that was written about me by an Antifa guy that works for SPLC, they mentioned Mass Resistance. And the first story on me on the SPLC came out, I was freaking out, and I'm like, "Oh my god, they're like saying we're all like Nazis and stuff. It was crazy. And I just met the Mass Resistance folks, and they're great folks, and they're really doing a great job. They're passionate. They do everything they can to try to help us fight for our children and the sexualization. So look up Mass Resistance. I don't see the website here. I probably should have had it here. I'm retarded. And if you have some extra cash, please donate it because they're going to have double match donations. All right. And then we will put more information out on January 6th. So back to our friend Mike Arnold. Um, going forward, right, with from a political perspective, now that Trump bombed those bastards up on the north side, right? That's how I feel on South Side, Chicago, North Side. But anyway, now that he bombed those guys on the north side, um, what do you think the government really thinks in Nigeria about what happened? Are they pretending they're happy? Are they pissed? What's going on?
Hey, that's the other side of the brilliance of this move. Because there was a couple things that were involved in the announcement of this to begin with. This government has spent more time and money and energy lying about and hiding the facts than they have ever spent trying to fix it or to help
Right,
anybody.
right. We know that,
Right,
right?
and
Yeah.
and so yeah, and their political power base is the North.
Yeah.
So there's not too much, if they go too far on a limb, they're against it. If they really start to fight against it, they'll become an enemy and they'll be taken out.
Right.
So they're in a tight spot to begin with, and they're corrupt, and they're trying. The president's trying to win the reelection by improving the economy. So they're real conscious of
And what do
those
you
things
think
for
about the
political.
president? Or is that
Oh,
too
he's the top boss corruptocrat, man. The
yeah, I
guy's
didn't know if you
scum.
wanted to
But
say that in case you wanted to go back there or not. I don't want to
well,
put you
no, I
on the
mean
spot.
he's a drug baron. I mean it's pretty. He's the top boss, the top mob boss.
He's a drug
Yeah.
baron?
But
Yeah.
yeah, he's got a history of that in the United States. With your DEA buddies
Oh
can tell you all
shit, I
about
could make a fortune with that guy. You got his number? I'm joking.
it.
Joke. I'm gonna
But
I keep joking
so
here.
when Trump first the day before the bombing, out of the blue, Benjamin Netanyahu came out and said, "We need to fight against the Christian genocide in Nigeria."
Really?
So that he hadn't said anything. That then the next day we bombed. So obviously, I mean, the
He knew.
signal is there.
Yeah.
He knew he was connected.
Yeah.
The second thing, when Trump announced it, he said we're going after to end the Christian genocide. Well, the Nigerian government has denied that
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
For
genocide.
life.
They,
Right.
you know, so, then he also said we want to thank the Nigerian government for working with us. They have to save face. They have to say they were working with us. Otherwise, they
Yeah,
look
it's
weak. They've
crazy,
lost
right? I
control.
understand the politics of it, right?
So this president, oh yes, we worked with the American government, which means they worked with the Israelis, which means they're trying to stop the Christian genocide. So
Yeah.
it puts them in a big pickle already. The folks in the
Yeah,
north are
they've all
starting
got
to attack because
bullseyes
yeah,
on their backs now too, because these little worshipers of the pedophile prophet.
yeah,
Yeah, if you work with the
yeah.
Jews or work with the great Satan over here, you're a dead man.
And
Yeah.
so he didn't just light the terrace on fire; he lit the proverbial bag of dog crap on fire and rang the doorbell.
Yeah, and then threw it all over
You
the
know,
porch.
the
Good Lord.
president's Yeah, he left it on the porch, man. And that president, I maybe I'm the only one who's picked up on it, but I think that was a brilliant move. The location, the timing,
Sounds
the
like it.
target, and the messaging were, yeah. I it's got to be fun to sit there, with the Joint Chiefs and everybody, and say, okay, if we can do just one thing to mess everybody up, what's that one thing? It's a different way of thinking than carpet bombing or wipe them out. And you can see Trump thinks that way. What's the one thing? What's if we could just do it once? And they're very good at finding that one pressure point and, and,
Yeah.
and poking it.
So we got a
And
question here for you, and I think we already said it, but I'm getting caught up on this. So the main group is ISIS, right? At least that's what we're saying. What are some of the other groups there that are involved with? I know you mentioned that early on when we started talking, but ISIS sounds more
okay,
sensational. But what are some of the other terror organizations that are there or there before? You said
sure.
Boko Haram, and whatever. Is there others?
Yeah, there's quite a few. There's some rivalry, but there's also a lot of overlap and trading back and forth. Boko Haram is furthest east. It's the one that got all the headlines. That they came out of the gate quickest, and they're more homegrown. Generally, they control a large part of the northeast part of the country. Still,
Hmm.
it's their country, and it's still deadly. So that's Boko Haram, and then you have the tribe that's behind the caliphate
Hmm.
is the Fulani. Now, the Fulani came into Nigeria starting in the 1100s. They're not from there. They're from the Sahara. They were
Uh,
Sahara traders, with camels and all that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they came in as warlords, radical Muslim warlords, and started bumping off the local chiefs and kings and taking over, starting in the 1100s. And
Uh,
they're nomadic, so you even in the big cities, you'll see a herd of cattle going down the road. That's the Fulani.
oh.
They've always been Muslim, but they've become jihad radicalized in this era. And the Fulani militia is doing most of the killing these days,
Hmm.
and that's in the middle part. And then you have ISIS, you have Al Qaeda affiliate, and you have a group called Lakurawa that's more homegrown. It's in the West. It started as a local protection, group, but it became this jihad. And so there's a whole mishmash of them. But
Do they
the
fight?
pimp
Do they
daddy of them
fight?
all,
Do, Mike, do they fight amongst themselves? For
they
recognition
do.
and control. Yeah, that's what I figured. They're animals, right?
Yeah. So there was a point in time when Boko Haram, just one of the groups, not the most prominent anymore, when they denied the authority of the Sultan, and so he issued a fatwa against them, and their leader was killed, and now they respect his authority.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, the
Makes
Sultan's
perfect
the pimp
sense.
daddy. It seems. Yeah, he's nothing, and he's come out and said no one gets killed in my kingdom without traditional rulers knowing about it.
Mhm.
And he was trying to say that as an excuse that there's no genocide, but he just admitted that yeah
Yeah.
he knows about it because the deaths are documented.
And I think Trump mentioned that he would go back if he needed to or something, right? Was it am I
Oh,
Yes.
remembering
Riley
right?
Moore said there's more attacks coming.
Yeah.
This was
Okay.
I
Good.
think this was just shock and awe.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
this was just to help make them wet their little wrap
And
around
and you know what?
underpants.
They're so stupid and arrogant that I think they're not gonna go like they're gonna screw up, man. They're just
Oh
not
yeah.
going to
Well,
go in deep cover like they should.
There's not a lot. It's not like Afghanistan. There's not as many nooks and crannies, and so much of the population is hostile to them. They're
yeah.
gonna. And here's the thing: they all use cell phones like a bunch of
Mhm.
idiots. I have a private outfit that said they could track where these guys are, just to find here's the date and time of an attack, and go find them. And there's where they are now. That's all.
Yeah.
That's consumer level stuff these days.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we know exactly who they are and where they are. There's no hiding.
And I'm assuming our special forces are there kind of scoping everything out right now that
I would assume so as well. I actually know some private contractors that I've spoken to that are there doing some stuff too.
So
Well,
do you
yeah.
think? Go ahead, Big
Sorry, go
Mike.
ahead.
No,
I
go
was going
ahead.
to say, yeah. I mean, if they're getting traced, if they're dumb enough to still be using regular cell phones, we shouldn't be having any problem tracing them because you can just triangulate the signal. I mean, this isn't rocket surgery. Even the cartels in Mexico know that now. That's why they put their own cell phone network down there to make it more difficult to trace them. And even they're turning away from that now, using other devices because they know it just puts a giant light right over their head. And if they hear a buzzing sound in the sky, they probably get real nervous.
Yeah, I'm
So,
sure there's certainly that level of sophistication there. It's a wealthy nation,
mhm.
and they're excuse me. You know how good hackers they are, and and there's a lot of tech there, and so I'm sure the leaders and the Sultan being a brigadier general in intel certainly has access to all that. But the guys out in the field with the machetes and the axes and the AKs and the motorcycles yelling Allahu Akbar, no, they're cannon fodder for those guys. They don't have anything.
so because we're almost done, because we got to show two little clips at the end here that are lighthearted. So I want to wait for the serious stuff to be over with. Now, Joe Severino, the guy's from Illinois. Um, so here's the big question. Now that this just happened, right? Is anything going to change?
Absolutely.
Really?
I
Oh, that's
believe
really good.
that I believe, assuming also it continues some. But here's what's changed dramatically, and it started with something God used me to do when I pointed out that the emperor has no clothes. It had never been done before. Those people live in fear of opening their mouths. The newspapers live in fear of publishing the truth, and that has changed. People are calling these people out. People, I mean,
Mm,
they're the young people are standing up. They're having podcasts and X chats and posting, and it's snowballing. The
mm.
truth is coming out. I think we might see a Tibet situation. I hear there's
And
something
you
going
know
on
what?
in Iran.
I pray to God that the American government and Trump doesn't leave them hanging. And these people got excited and they got courage. And I know, the government's done that in the past, right? Especially with
Yeah.
Iran when Obama was in office.
We
And
could
if these
have our
people,
Israel in Africa, but without all the baggage. Uh,
yeah,
we could have a great ally that loves us, that is
we
appreciative
got to
of
take out the
us.
president, though, right?
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
happens over there. It's not
That's small
uncommon.
potatoes. That happens
Yeah,
every other Tuesday. Speaking of Iran, like they're out in the streets right now too, and
right.
something that's sort of interesting. And I didn't know this. One of our owners here, one of the other owners at Ex American News, she's from Iran originally, Annie Cyrus, so she's really in tune to this stuff. So something kind of an interesting parallel. Right before the Islamic takeover in '78, they closed the bazaar, they shut everything down, everybody got out of the streets. Well, that's what happened this time too. And this thing is continuing to build despite the fact that the Islamic regime is now shooting the protesters in the street. They're still not backing down. So we may have finally have a real uprising on our hands out there.
Yeah.
Here's my prophecy that we're going to see, and I don't think it's accidental. Obama had his Arab Spring. Trump's going to have his Christian spring, and it's going to come
I
right up
hope so.
on
That'd
us.
be awesome.
Yeah.
Man,
Watch it. Watch.
Mike, I would love
These
to,
things
like,
don't happen by accident.
if you go back there, I'd love to go with you and I could film it. But the way I am with my crazy luck, we would be on CNN as hostages.
Hey, think of the book deal afterwards, man.
Like,
Yeah.
Just think of the book deal, baby.
but I got handle it in a good way. We'll become hostages, but we'll escape. It's always crazy.
You'll get clicks, dude. I mean, you'll have 1 million
Yeah.
followers. It'll all be worth it.
And
Okay, you didn't need
I,
that hand anyway.
so speaking
Yeah.
of Africa, and another while you're on the before we go with you here, Somalia, right? With what's going on in Africa, I'm just amazed that how these inbred retards from Somalia came here and stole like $10 billion or whatever the heck it is. It just baffles me. How the hell does that happen? They're not
It,
smart people. They're
it's
all
by
inbred.
design.
They're inbred. They look the same.
It's intentional by design, in the same way that the Nigerian nefarious leaders imported jihadis illegal. And in fact, this guy I was in the photo op with a month and a half ago was the former minister of digital information. I have credible reports that with all these illegals, they would line up, and he was in charge of the digital IDs. They just hand them out these IDs. They just citizen, gave
Jeez.
them all
Yeah.
citizenship.
Well, I mean, with
And
the Somalis
but
too.
you see it
Yeah,
happening here. It's the same playbook. It's just a little more primitive over there because they can get away with it.
Yeah,
But it's the
yeah.
exact same playbook they used in England. It's the same playbook they've used everywhere.
Yeah, I
in
mean, with
this
the
world.
Somalis, half the problem is that Tim Waltz, is too busy putting tampons in the men's room. They weren't paying attention. They were willfully not following up. They had 480 whistleblowers that came forward and said, hey, I think these Somalis might be ripping us off through our welfare programs and through autism programs by making fake leering centers and whatever else they were, all the other scams they were up to. They knew all about it. But they were benefiting from it. A lot of these guys were giving kickbacks to the DNC, to Democrats that were running in the state, and they were laundering money back literally to Boko Haram. They probably paid for a lot of these executions in Nigeria with our tax dollars. We're up to $19 billion just in Somali scams from Little Mogadishu in Minnesota. And you're getting more coming out of Ohio now. We've now got two separate groups here, two different scams, one of them different than the ones in Minnesota. And they got more popping off in Maine. And I'm hearing now that we're going to start seeing more out of Indianapolis, and where was the other state? But basically, we're going to have at least 5 of these popping off, and there's about to be another one we're going to hear about in about a week out of California that doesn't involve Somalis. So
You know what I've been,
we'll be.
you know what I've been doing this morning, Mike?
It's
Has
a
been doing
narrative
research
war.
on
It's
Illinois.
timing.
Yeah, I've been
All
doing
this
research
doesn't
on
come.
Illinois, Somali locations, as well as the Muslim and the Southwest Side and Bridgeview and stuff. I bet you,
Dude, you're going to
this
find more there.
when I got all the names of the daycare centers and stuff, and I got to match them back to the state of Illinois. And so I
Ooh,
just started this morning on that.
this is
You're gonna.
chess. These things don't all come to light at once, random.
No.
I believe you're going to a number of things, and it's a lot of it's focusing towards the midterm elections, the economy, all that. I mean, the Federal Reserve Chairman is up in May, I believe, and the new guy's going to come in. Just watch, and it's going to juice the economy. All these prosecutions are going to start happening, and you're going to see the Christian Spring, and you're going to see an American resurgence, an American revival, the Christian Spring. You
Yeah,
heard it here first, folks.
I hope so.
Amen.
Man, I gave a Nigerian prince like $500 a little while ago, and I never got that money he was supposed to send me.
He probably got incinerated on Christmas.
Yeah, you might have sent it just a
Along
little too
with
late,
everybody
Terry. It was in that grass hut the whole time. If
I gotta
only
go.
you'd.
Maybe you know him, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, do you know this guy?
Never got my
Extra
never got my
crispy,
cashier's
baby.
check. Well, thank you very much for coming, and we'll keep us up to date and any new interesting information. You're always welcome back on the show. Love to have you. You're fun
Thank you.
for having
Check out
great.
MikeArnold.org. I got to get my plug in there.
Of
MikeArnold.org. You
course.
can find out how to support my schools, and I've got a couple books and blah blah. MikeArnold.org.
And then when I send you this, or you could get it
Dot
from
org. You got dot
.org. Yeah,
com.
let me fix that right now. Sorry, it's been on there the wrong
There,
way the whole
there,
time.
it's
dot
there, yeah.
org.
.org.
There we go.
There. See, I'm glad I caught that.
A little
Thank you.
fucking late, Mike.
I
Mike
know.
Robert.
Sorry, I'll do better next time.
Yeah. So
We'll have to have him
Thank you,
back
guys.
on.
yeah,
God
we'll
bless you.
definitely have you back on. Appreciate it, and keep up the good work, and keep your head on.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
So the last closing minutes, we got a couple little clips. Everyone knows what's going on politically with that piece of shit Joe Severi. He's watching right now. I could see he's probably in his study, the one that he does all his TikTok videos. He's probably in his boxers, jerking off, watching us. This sick bastard. He's running for governor, and so he's going after my job again. He's going after my my executives, our customers, and what he doesn't realize is he's doxing innocent people that are not public figures. Mike, he's doxing somebody that is not a political figure. So he might thought he got away with it with me, but the people that he doxed today again, and he
Yeah,
doxed before, and it shows a historic pattern. He's fucked.
pretty
So
much.
we'll talk about that later. So anyway, we got a couple little, the guy said I posted, I don't know, like 6 months ago, I came across that app Suno on accident, and Severino didn't lock his account up, and this crazy weird bastard made like 10 or 12 MTV type music videos about me and many other people, mostly about me. And I think he has a man crush on me because I'm really a man and he's like a transvestite. And I think he's got a man crush on me. But I couldn't get the guy to stop chasing me since March 15th when I said that I would not endorse his crazy campaign. He's a Democrat. He was seen in Springfield coordinating his signatures with Democrats, right? It's all coming out. We'll leave the ballot challenge for later, but so here's a couple little videos Mike Scott. They're only like a minute each, and I learned how to use AI pretty well. So it's kind of funny that the guy who's used AI against me and then was going to use AI against Sheriff Mendrick and trying to pay somebody to make it look like Sheriff Mendrick was doing meth with 14-year-old children. And then he said he wanted him to go after me every day on Facebook. So I just got back on Facebook. What do you think I've been fucking doing? So those people that think I'm obsessed, I was getting revenge on this prick, okay? So let's show these last 2 little minute clips, and we'll end the show. Mike, you could end it after we show these 2.
All right, you got it. Here we go. The floppy nose, the best, man.
I don't understand why people don't support my campaign. I'm authentic, so I occasionally lie. For example, since I never attended college, I had to lie about being a Harvard graduate. Since many politicians are attorneys, I had no choice but to pretend I had a law degree. So what? I went bankrupt and lost my business. Does that mean I'm not qualified to fix Illinois' budget crisis? Since no Republicans supported me, of course I accepted help from the Democrats out of Springfield. Who do you think helped me hire the 10 out-of-state circulators from Texas and Arizona? It's not illegal. They helped hire local people too, like Jewel Hogan. They recruited her from a Walmart parking lot. Sounds crazy, but it's legal. Jewel Hogan spent 3 days gathering signatures from a local McDonald's. Guess what? I didn't pay her either. I wish the Democrats would have told me hiring out-of-state circulators are bad. Damn it. If Newsom gets me tossed from the ballot, I'm going to sue the Democrats. It's their fault. Nothing is ever my fault. Max Pad Rice, can you come over and sit on my nose again? That makes me feel better.
Sure, Joey, I will be right over. Just don't tell Mia. I will stop at Lover's Lane on the way. Whee!
I'm the comedian that would laugh at his own jokes on fucking stage. I'm sorry. You got to know this guy's such an asshole. Everything in there is true. And he's the one trying to run for governor. He's a fucking retard. So all right, we got one more.
One more.
Mike, after that one, you close out the show, brother.
You got it, man. Here we go.
What the fuck, DeVore? Where's my spot? You know I'm the presumptive nominee. This is crazy. I'm the only authentic candidate not on the ballot. Don't you realize I'm Harvard Law? I have the brightest legal mind in the state.
Tom, please don't do this to me. I have Lincoln bloodline. Can't you tell? I swear it's true. I want everyone to know why I tried to become an attorney. This sounds crazy, but it's true. My great-great-grandfather is Abe Lincoln. I swear to God. Seriously, I wouldn't lie about that. I'm also second cousin to Donald Trump. We used to golf at Mar-a-Lago. My handicap is only a 1. I realize this is hard to believe. Trust me, I'm authentic and smart. Okay, Tom. When Newsom bounces me off the ballot, I won't have a job or income. It'll be hard to believe. I'm Chinese on my mom's side. Seriously, Tom. Don't laugh. Tom, I'm serious. I'm also known as an international businessman with a Harvard degree. With this authentic experience, I can help you. I can sell the hell out of your egg rolls, Tom. I'm Harvard Chinese and an authentic international executive. Hank, I can do this, Tom. Just give me a shot. I'm your man. Muku Kakapine. Hey, Tom, I'm fluent in Mandarin too. Please, Tom. Please, I need a job. Oh, Tom, I'm so sorry. I can't help myself. I'm such a scumbag. Forgive me. Not only can I sell egg rolls, I will be your personal valet, Parker. Please, Tom.
Sorry. So for those of you guys don't know, Tom DeVore is a buddy of ours. So Severino went after him. He's starting an egg roll company. So I kind of tied together that. And so Severino owned a valet company, so that's why I said he'll be his personal valet, Parker. So go ahead, Mike.
Hilarious. Well, I'm just gonna be glad to be done with this guy once he finally gets his house repossessed and he's living under a bridge. Then maybe he can write a book about it. But guys, thank you all for joining us tonight. Stay safe this new year. Don't do anything stupid, but have fun with your friends. Thank you for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help us to grow so we can bring more people the news the mainstream media doesn't want you to hear. We'll be back soon with even more. Thanks again, guys.